Hello viewers, tutorial 2 question 2. We have to factorise the expression x to the power of 13 minus 4x to the power of 11. But before I do so, I'd like to go over the difference of two squares rule. So if we've got, say, x to the n, x squared minus a squared, that factorises into x plus a times x minus a. So, for example, x squared minus 1 is 1 squared, so that factorises into x plus 1 times x minus 1. If we've got x plus 2 times x minus 2, that will expand to x squared minus 2 squared, which is 4, and x squared minus 9. So these are the squares. 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared gives you x plus 3 times x minus 3. So that's something that we will need for this little video. Okay, so let's go to x to the power of 13 minus 4x to the 11. So what's the biggest power of x? That's a common factor of everything there. We've got x to the power of 11, we've got the lowest power. So what goes inside the bracket? We've got x to the 13 here, we've taken out x to the 11, we need 2 more, minus x to the 11 times what gives you 4x to the 11, that's 4. And we can see from this line that x squared minus 4 factorises further. So we've got x to the 11 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, so that's part A of the question. Now fully factorise the following. We've got to fully factorise x to the power of 4 minus 13x squared plus 36. Well, this one's a bit different. We don't have a common factor of x in the whole thing that we can take out. We want to make it look kind of quadratic. So we've got a rule on the formula sheet that says that x to the m times n equals x to the m to the power of n. So x to the 4 we can say is x to the 2 times 2, because 4 is 2 times 2, which is, in other words, x squared squared. So we can write this as x squared squared minus 13 times x squared plus 36. And if we use a substitution to make the next step a bit clearer, let's say let x squared be a particular letter, let's say u, then we can replace that x squared with u, so this becomes u squared minus 13 times u plus 36. Now this is something that we can factorise. So remember the systematic thing we used in video 1 to work out the pairs of numbers that multiply into 36. So we've got 1 and 36. We've got negative 1 and negative 36. Does 2 go into 36? That's 2 times 18. And negative 2 times negative 18. Does 3 go into 36? 3 times 12, and negative 3 times negative 12. Does 4 go into 36? That is 4 times 9, and negative 4 times negative 9. And does 5 go into 36? It doesn't, because 36 divided by 5 is not a whole number. What about 6? 36 divided by 6 gives you 6, and the negatives. So we're looking for the pair that adds up to minus 13, which would be negative 4 and negative 9. So we've got u squared minus 13u plus 36, which is going to be equal to, if we factorise, we have a u in each bracket. So this is going to be u minus 4, u minus 9. And what was u? U was x squared. So u is going to be x squared. And u is going to be x squared in the other bracket as well. Now both of these are exactly a difference of two squares. So x squared minus 4, as we saw in part A, that factorises into x plus 2, x minus 2. And x squared minus 9 was a difference of two squares. That one was x plus 3 times x minus 3. Okay, so that's part B. Now part C, we've got another expression to factorise. We've got 3x to the power of 3 minus 10x squared plus 3x. So we can take out a factor of x right off the bat. So we get x times 3x squared minus 10x plus 3. Now what we see in brackets there is a quadratic. We need to factorise that quadratic. So we can do our ABC thing. So 3 is A, negative 10 is B, and C is 3. Okay, so what's A times C? A times C is 3 times 3 is 9. We're looking for two numbers that add to B, which was negative 10, but they multiply to 9. Okay, so does 1 go into 9? So 1 times 9 would be the first pair, and negative 1 times negative 9. Now we also want 3 and 3, don't we? Because those 3 times 3 is 9. 2 does not go into 9, so we're not going to list 2. And because we've got a number on both numbers in a pair, we can be sure that we've got them all. So we're looking for the pair that adds up to minus 10, which would be minus 1 and minus 9. So we have to split up this middle term, which is the minus 10x, using that pair. So we've got x times 3x squared minus 1 times x minus 9 times x plus 3. Now out of this pair, what's the common factor that we can take out? That's only x, so we've got x times 3x minus 1. And then what's the factor that we can take out of this pair? Let's keep that third sign, so we'll have a minus. Common factor there is 3. So if we take out a factor of negative 3 here, that becomes a 3x. And since we're taking out a factor of negative 3, we need a negative times a negative to give you that plus 3 minus 1. Okay, so inside this bracket we have a common factor of 3x minus 1, so 3x minus 1 will be one of the brackets. What's the other one going to be? X minus 3. Okay, thanks for watching. Over and out.